Welcome back to the Sick and Successful podcast. This episode is going to be all about my unpopular opinion why work-life balance doesn't exist. I know it sounds crazy, right? Because everywhere on the internet, literally everywhere on the internet, everyone is telling you work-life balance is the number one most important thing that you need to focus on as an entrepreneur or as a CEO or as someone who's sick and successful. And I'm going to tell you today why I don't believe that balance exists. I literally sat in my therapist's office, and when she asked me, how is your work-life balance? I said, I don't believe that exists. And she looked at me like I had four eyes. I'm not even joking. Because I honestly, it's not that I don't think balance, quote unquote, is important. There was a book that I was reading or listening to on Audible, because that is something that I am obsessed with doing, where it was talking about work-life balance. And they had a view that it honestly doesn't exist. And it made me think, like, this is so true. Ever since I started pursuing my dreams, literally as a teenager in high school, I was 100% going to be a hairstylist on the movies because I wanted to see my name roll on the credits and I didn't want to be an actor, and I loved being creative and I loved hair. So I went to hair school and I became a hairstylist, and I did everything in my power, like literally zone in on hair. I literally got an award in high school for being a hairstylist as I was getting my high school diploma. So that was like my fast track. And then if you listen to past episodes, you know the story of why I went to university, because my dad promised me I could go to makeup school outside of high school so I could get on those movie screens. And I went into business. And once I went into business, my mind was 100% focused on business. I was working 5 to 6 jobs at a time, part-time, different types. I was doing hairstyling. I was working on a party bus. I was being a receptionist. I was doing all the things while getting my degree. And I was so absolutely focused. I was so focused that I told my boyfriend at the time that you are number 3 on my list. Like, it is school, it is my career, and then it is you no matter what. And that was someone I was with for years. And I meant it. Like, I was not about to commit. I was not about to live with him. I was not about to do anything because school and my career were number one. And then I met my now husband, and we moved in 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, after we started dating. We met in high school, but then we re-met right near my last year of university. So my focus was already moving to my career. And then I met my now husband. And I laser focused on my career. And I really believe to be successful, especially while managing a chronic illness and juggling all these other things in your life, it's never going to be like a scale where both things are equal. It's moving. Your life ebbs and flows, right? There are times in life where family is going to be number one. For example, when I had Alicia, career and everything stopped. It literally came to a screeching halt. When I found out I was pregnant, I stopped all entrepreneurial endeavors. I stopped everything. I continued my career, obviously at the time in corporate, because I needed to pay the bills. But my number one focus became my baby and my belly. And then as I had Alicia, again, nothing. Number one focus was my family and Alicia. And then as time went on, career started coming back near the top, right? And it doesn't mean that it's over top of my family, because it's not. At this point, number one is my family, but career is really important. So at the time of giving birth and being pregnant, it was like this. My work-life balance was like this: family and then career. If you're not watching on YouTube, my one hand is much higher than the other hand. And then now it's kind of ebbed a little bit, family is still on top, but career is a close second. And there are times in my life where career is on top, or there have been times in my life where career has been on top. And there are days, right? It's not just a period of my life, but there are days where I'll work a 16-hour workday and unfortunately won't get to see my daughter. And there are other days where I get to take the full day off and spend the whole day with her. And times where, half the day is with her and half the day is at work. And it flows like that. And that is the beauty of life, right? When someone's here, sits down and tells you, you need to have work-life balance and you're working too hard, take a second to look in their shoes. Take a second to look through the window of their life. Are they happy or are they content? Are they pursuing their dreams or are they living a mediocre life? Because if you're listening to this podcast, if you're watching this YouTube channel, it's because you don't want to live a mediocre life, right? It's because you want to be successful, or because you are successful, and because you have dreams and goals that you know you're going to accomplish. So to do that, to accomplish those dreams, to accomplish those goals, and to live a life of extreme happiness, obviously, again, ebbs and flows, but to live a life that you're proud of, you're not always going to be able to have a 50-50 balance between work and your family, or between work and your relationships, or between whatever the things are in your life. If you think of your life as a circle, right? And every, like a piece of a pie, and every piece was exactly the same size, that means that you would be boring, at least in my opinion. Because if you were only giving a tiny little piece of yourself to all of these different things, then you wouldn't be giving all your 100% to something that really mattered to you. So how can you have a work-life balance? How can you do that? It's not possible. So what is important is that making sure you're focusing on the parts of your life that are really important, and that you're doing things to make sure that you're keeping the other balls, quote unquote, afloat. So for me, it's important for me right now as a startup company, as a growing entrepreneur, to have a lot of focus in my company. And my daughter's a toddler, and my relationship, and my family, and my friends, and our house, etc., etc., right? So things are falling to the wayside. We have basement renovations that should have been done 2 years ago that are still like, you guys don't want to see the basement. I am hiring a professional organizer for that, but like, our outside should have been renovated like at the beginning of summer, and we're slowly getting there. That my office right now, y'all, you're seeing what you're seeing on YouTube, but you're not seeing this. Also hiring an organizer for this. Tell me in the comments below if you want to see that, because I'd love to film this actually as a vlog for you. But there are things that, they're important to me. My house being tidy is really important for my mental health, but that's fallen a little bit to the wayside. I don't have time to cook daily meals, so we've hired my cousin to do so for us, and it's been phenomenal. It's really important for me to be there when I put my daughter to sleep 99% of the time. So I prioritize that. But unfortunately, I can't drive her to and from daycare. So my husband's been able to do that. And we've been able to outsource. There's like so many things that we've been able to work for our lives that I can say that I am extremely happy. Obviously, there are days that are really hard. Being sick is hard. Being an entrepreneur is hard. But it is possible. You know that. And so don't let someone's quote unquote Instagram life, that their perception of a work-life balance, make you feel like a bad person because maybe you're not momming enough, or maybe you're not entrepreneuring enough. I know those aren't words, but I'm claiming them as words. Maybe you're not wifing enough. You know what I mean? Maybe you just feel like you're not enough all the time. It's because you're being pulled in so many directions, and the world is telling you that you should be doing every single one amazingly. That is impossible. It's why being an entrepreneur is such a breed of its own. It takes a really special person to be an entrepreneur. And then to be an entrepreneur and someone who's chronically ill, and someone who's suffering with maybe mental illness, or someone who has, life obstacles in the way, that takes another level of a person. So don't hold yourself to these standards that you need to be perfect in every aspect of your life, because you're just going to fall short. You're going to continuously fall short, and you're going to keep beating yourself up, and you're not going to live this life that you set out to accomplish, to set out to live. So many of us become entrepreneurs because we want the autonomy, because we want to have days where we can go to the beach and work, and because we want to have freedom, and because we want to travel, and because we have all these dreams. But then we get into this job and we do that. We do just that. We create a 9-to-5 for ourselves, except it's not a 9-to-5. It's a 9-to-9, and we're working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and our minds are going all over the place, and we're not able to show up in any aspect of our life because we're holding ourselves to such unrealistic standards. So take a step back and realize you are in this season of life, and that's beautiful. And you can prioritize one of those aspects of that pie and give it a little bit more attention, because once you feel, you've hit that goal, you can give another piece of the pie more attention. And life can be beautiful and flowy and just like amazing in that way when you're not holding yourself to these unrealistic, impossible standards. I hope that resonated with you, because it is something that I still work on it all the time. And even though as someone who was just entering university and, or even high school, I was really good at laser focusing on my dreams. It became a lot harder when I had a family, when I when I had Alicia and I was getting back into the workplace. It was like this crazy feeling when I sent my daughter to daycare at 9 months, 10 months old. I felt like the worst mother in the world. Like, why wouldn't I keep her for 12 months like I can here in Canada? I'm in Canada, so we have 12 months of mat leave. Why wouldn't I keep her for 12 months? Well, because at that time I had a few months before going back to corporate, or as I thought I was going to go back to corporate, to get my career started, my entrepreneurial journey, to do what I was passionate about. And you know what's beautiful? What's beautiful is showing your children, is showing your family, is showing people you look up to what it's like to follow your dreams, what it's like to go after something you're super passionate about. You know what's going to be more important to my daughter when she grows up, looking back at this time, is how mommy started something that got us to where we are. How mommy did something that she's always wanted to do in her life. And to show my daughter what it's like to follow her dreams, what it's like to go after something that's freaking scary, that doesn't have a known outcome. Versus her looking back and being like, oh, dang, mom sent me to daycare at 12 months instead of 9. Yay. There's so many things in life that we put on our backs and we put on our shoulders that make us feel just shitty, like we're not living up to who we should be. But in reality, we're actually doing the best thing that's possible for us. And sometimes it's important to put ourselves first. And I know that's really hard as someone who's a mom and someone who's chronically ill. I always think of the people around me more so than myself when it comes to my illness, because I feel bad for them having to deal with my illness. But what if we just thought about ourselves a little bit more? What if we took the time to be a little bit more selfish so that we could give the people in our lives more love, so that we didn't have as many breakdowns, so that we didn't feel so depleted at the end of the day, so that we felt literally so excited to share what happened in our day, to share what we're doing, so that energy is infectious. Like that energy of when you do something that lights your fire is going to spread throughout your community. If my husband comes home and he's had like an amazing day at work where he's accomplished something, or he's, done something that really lit him up, it spreads through our whole family. We all have a better evening. And same with me. If I did something in my day where I was super excited, it spreads. So let's show our children that. Let's show our friends that. Let's show our family that we can go after our dreams while still being able to enjoy all of the amazing things in life, right? Doesn't have to be one or the other. It doesn't have to be 50-50. It can be 75-25 for a little while and then flip. It's up to you. You get to create the life you want to live. You do, and no one else. So I want to urge you to take a moment, sit down, and maybe write a list of your priorities and see if you're putting the most attention on the thing that's most important for you right now. Because a lot of us like to say, my number one right now is X, but really that's the one that you're spending the least amount of time on. So take a moment, write a list of your 5 top priorities in life right now. Family, work, friends, X, Y, and Z. Career, maybe. YouTube, maybe. I don't know. Whatever it is, whatever is most important for you, take a little bit extra time every day to focus on that thing and watch how your life changes. Thank you so much for listening today. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, dream big, it's possible for you, and the next version of success is around the corner. Mwah!